Hey guys, Drew B here. I wanted to talk to you about something that's been going around on YouTube for at least the last year or so, and that's people announcing they're leaving California.
It is official, I am moving out of California.
I'm out of here.
Life in California just wasn't meeting our bar.
And as a Californian myself, that really made me think. I've watched a lot of these videos and people make a lot of great points. Most of the time when people talk about why they're leaving, they cite traffic, taxes, a homelessness problem. Silicon Valley companies are leaving, opportunities are disappearing. It's hard to park, there's traffic, there's taxes, there's wildfires, there's air quality problems and taxes. Look, I get it. And if you're making more than $1 million a year, it probably does make sense to move, I'm not gonna lie. The tax savings alone would probably pay for your move. And great for you if you are, but I'm not one of those people, so let me tell you why I'm not leaving California, at least not yet. For me, it comes down to a couple of things, the first of which is opportunities. My day job is actually in the entertainment business, and while a lot of things are done remotely, still so much in entertainment happens through an in-person meeting. And I think we're gonna go back to that. While a lot of movie projects don't shoot here, TV still does, and most of the studios are still based here. The second reason, I know it's cliched, but it's a big one for me and a lot of other people, it's the weather. It's early February, it's 72 degrees today, sunny, light breeze, and it's been like that most of the time since I've lived here. Sure, in the summer in the San Fernando Valley it can get hot, and in the winters it can get down to, 55 degrees. But for the most part, year-round it's pretty nice. That's hard to beat. Yes, other places have nice weather too, but California has consistently good weather most of the year. I like to walk out my front door and go, wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful day. And I do that a lot. The next thing is property appreciation. California offers a huge rate of return for being in the real estate market. If you can get into it, and that's a big if, I understand, but if you can get into it, you're gonna see much bigger returns in the LA market than you would in, say, Nevada. I'm in my mid-30s. I was lucky enough to be able to buy a home when I was in my mid-20s. And in the 10 years or so that I've owned my house, it's actually almost doubled in value. That's been a huge contributor to my net worth, by far the largest. I don't know if I would be able to get that in another market. The last thing is family and social connections. My mother was born and raised in LA. I've got a lot of family here. I've got ties to everything. And I think that's what keeps a lot of people in a lot of places. Look, California isn't perfect, but I haven't found another place that doesn't come with some negatives that outweigh the positives. There might be places as good as California, but it's hard to find a place that's better. Those are the couple reasons why I'm staying, but really to talk about this, we need to look at the reasons why people say they're leaving and see how they really apply to me and maybe to you. Definitely topping the list is taxes. People say California has the highest state income tax rate, and at 13.3%, that's absolutely true. But unless you're making megabucks, you're not going to pay it. I certainly don't. After deductions for owning a home, basically the home mortgage interest deduction and for property taxes I paid, my effective tax rate last year in 2019 was just under 3%. I haven't finished my 2020 taxes yet, but I expect it'll be pretty similar. Yeah, it sucks to pay anything when everything else is more expensive, but a 3% premium for living in the state really isn't that bad. So income tax savings alone isn't enough reason to leave. The next thing to talk about is homelessness. And this is a huge problem, admittedly. We're in a crisis situation here in California. 25% of the nation's homeless population lives in the state. This is something we're going to have to solve together. I'm not willing to give up on the state just yet. Stephan made a great video about why he was leaving LA, and the fact that the state had mismanaged the homelessness crisis factored prominently into his decision. Here's the thing though, Graham and a lot of these other people who are leaving and who cite homelessness as one of their factors, they live in areas where homelessness is a particular problem, like downtown and Santa Monica. And it's always kind of been a problem in those places. You don't need to leave the state to find a place where they're dealing with the homelessness crisis a little bit better. Just don't live in Santa Monica. Homelessness is a problem we're going to have to solve together, and it's going to be a nationwide problem if we don't do something about it soon. Then there are other things people talk about, wildfires, traffic, the education system. Maybe they're worried tax rates are going to go up even more in the future, or they want to start a family. Again, I'm not saying these things aren't issues. I'm just saying they're not that big for me. Wildfires have always been a constant problem for California in general. I grew up in LA and I remember being evacuated from school multiple times because of wildfires. It's what we get for living in a fertile state with wet weather followed by an extremely hot, dry summer and a windy fall. And I take the point that the housing crisis, and it is a crisis, has forced people to the fringes where wildfire protection is more of an issue. But every state and every city has its issues. Traffic is a problem for a lot of major metropolitan areas. It's endemic to cities in general. Population tends to grow faster than the road network does. And despite what you might think about LA traffic, Boston actually ranks way worse than LA. The average Bostonian commuter spends 6 days a year stuck in traffic. Also outranking LA, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, and DC. LA and San Francisco are 6th and 7th respectively. So while California clearly isn't a strong winner, like a lot of places in the country, on balance, it's probably no better or worse if you live here already than it would be if you live somewhere else. At least for the average person, at least for now. And look, all that could change in a heartbeat depending on how the next few years shake out, but my hope is with LA hosting the Olympics in 2028 and the intrinsic value of the area that LA will power through and will remain a great place to live for a long time to come. With that said, folks, thanks for watching my video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Fondle the like button if you haven't already, and click subscribe so you can be notified anytime I post a new video.